We begin in Louisiana, where a baby boy with Down syndrome, just 17 months old, is poisoned to death with what authorities are saying was hand sanitizer. Out to Paul Purpura, reporter with NOLA.com and the Times Picayune, right there in Louisiana. Paul, take us through from the very beginning.
Hi, yes, thank you. On January 24th, paramedics and deputies were called to her home in Belle Chase, Louisiana, which is a suburb of New Orleans. It was an emergency medical role. The child was not responsive and was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. The coroner's office, and through the autopsy, determined that the child died essentially from alcohol poisoning. The child's mother, Erica Wigstrom, was brought in for questioning on Tuesday, and detectives say that she confessed that she caused her son's death by injecting hand sanitizer into her son's feeding tube.
But out to Michael Board, reporter WOAI News Talk Radio, there's a lot more to this, but she is saying that this was done for a very specific reason, that she's not a killer with that killer intent to kill instinct. What is she saying, Michael Board?
She's saying that her child had a variety of health problems. The child, I mean, he's barely a year old, and it's a very tough life. There was holes in the heart. There was some sort of developmental disorders for this child. It's not been an easy run for this one-year-old child. And what will break your heart in this, and what's absolutely tragic, is the medical examiner, get this, they found that the blood alcohol level in this 17-month-old child was 0.28. Now, you know, the legal limit for driving is 0.08. So this child, this 17-month-old child, because of what happened, had 4 times the legal limit for alcohol in the bloodstream.
And everybody, what you're looking at right now is this little boy who had been diagnosed with Down syndrome. He also had a heart defect. He had already been in the hospital for open heart surgery. This little boy right here, Michael Christian, it's not the first time that he allegedly had been poisoned. Talk about the first instance that police say happened in 2012.
That's right, Gene, and this is maybe the weirdest part of this entire story. In 2012, as you say, when little Lucas was only 2 months old, he was in the hospital awaiting open-heart surgery, and it was discovered that he was poisoned by alcohol at that point, too. He had a similar amount in his blood as at the time of his death. It was over 0.28. And eventually his father, a man named Cesar Ruiz, was arrested. Now, Cesar Ruiz supposedly told cops at that point that he had put rum into little Lucas's feeding tube. He said he didn't do it to hurt him or kill him. He just wanted to make him more comfortable. He wanted to remove pain. But right now, Cesar Ruiz is in a different county. He's awaiting a trial for that. However, now this mother, Erica Wigstrom, says not only did she poison little Lucas when he died in February, but also she had done it back in 2012. So you've got 2 different people who are saying they poisoned him, one with rum. She says she did it with perfume in his feeding tube.
And, you know, Michael Christian, we have covered so many cases together, and poisoning deaths are not that common. But with this little boy with Down syndrome and a heart defect, I want to go to Dr. Michelle Dupree, medical examiner, forensic pathologist. 2 poisoning incidents at this point, right? That's factual right there based on the toxicology screening. The first one was in the hospital, 2012, when this little boy was about to undergo open heart surgery. The second at his home. My first question is, does he live with a feeding tube? Because both times it was done through a feeding tube.
Yes, Jean, apparently he does. Some Down syndrome patients do need a feeding tube in order to be fed.
Now, how wide would that feeding tube be? Because I'm amazed that someone gets these liquids into the feeding tube would then ultimately cause the death.
Well, usually they're fed with a syringe or something of that nature. Their normal meals are fed that way. So most of their daily intake is some type of liquid or semi-liquid anyway.